Take 2 on JTInTheRaw show 38. Hey, I'll tell you about what I was doing just in a minute, but if you missed the first part of the show, if you don't do stuff when you listen, when you read, when you attend, when you watch, if you don't do stuff, then what the heck is going on? Today in JTInTheRaw, I'm going to kick some butt. Yep, I'm kicking some butt today. So join the fun, listen in, and take this with a grain of salt. I'm only kicking your butt because I love you guys. That's it. That's the only reason. I'm kicking your butt because I love you. I want you to be successful. I want you to be super successful. So welcome to JTInTheRaw, show 38, where I chew the thin on business. And I am merely a conduit of information from what I learn to what I can then share with you guys. So, have fun, listen, and as I say, take this with what it's supposed to do. Okay, first up, I was doing this with my desktop on Chrome to see if I could Chrome and Instagram on my phone. Now, I know that I can, but for whatever reason, I couldn't this morning because I didn't have enough internet or bandwidth. Thank you very much. So coming soon will be JTInTheRaw live on Instagram and live on Facebook. So yeah, that's it. Okay, what's in today's show? Morning, Eugene. How are you doing this morning? What's on today's show? Well, I told you I'm going to kick some butt. I'm going to talk about implementation. That's really important to me. So I'm going to share that with you. But first up, I want to do a couple of shout outs. Please bear with me. These people are important to me and I just want to publicly acknowledge them for their support. My first shout out today goes to Kirsty from Studio 46 in Melbourne. I got to spend 3 hours with Kirsty this week. After I finally got there, my plane was late and then it was late again and then it was late a third time, but I finally got there and we spent 3 hours working around her culture in her business and defining her culture based on the core values that her business actually has. And I love working with Kirst because her energy comes through. You know, she might start the meeting a little bit flat and tired, but by the end of the meeting, she's like ripping, raring to go. And she's an implementer. No question, she is an implementer and she loves doing stuff and her eyes were lighting up by the end of the meeting. And as a coach, that's extremely rewarding knowing that I can leave her and she is going to do stuff, which is of course the thrust of today's show. My second shout out today goes to Nigel and Ryan from Australian Fitness Network. Next month we have Filex, which is the big fitness convention here in Australia. It's a big show, it's a great show, and on just the day before that is our business summit. And Nigel and Ryan have asked myself and Chantel from the Fitness Business Podcast to host the business summit. We're the MCs. We're going to shake the trees. Love this and really appreciate the opportunity, Nigel and Ryan. Thank you. Very grateful for that. And hopefully we'll be seeing some of the people that tune in live on this show will be at the business summit. And thirdly, I want to say a huge thank you to my fitness industry colleagues. Oh my God, I have been overwhelmed with your love. Thank you. Andrew, Brent, Angus, Leanne, Matt, Ryan, and Chantel, and even more next week who have been contributing to our blog this week on Insights from Ursa 2017. If you haven't checked that out, just put active in the comments below and I'll send you the link to the blogs. We're doing a blog a day basically until Monday week. So we've still got another 10 days of blogs coming from people who have got really powerful insights out of Ursa. And it's been great reading them because I've asked them to nail down 3 really key ones. So jump on there. If you haven't seen them, just put active in the comments below and I will share the link with you. Okay, so on with the show. What have we got this week? I want to confess something to you. This week, I got fired by a client. One of my coaching clients fired me. Gee, I look tired this morning and old. Late, long day. I didn't get home from Melbourne last night till midnight. Anyway, this week I got fired by one of my coaching clients. She's decided not to continue with our monthly coaching calls. I was really upset by this. I took it really personally. I feel like I screwed up. I feel like I let her down. So I went back and I looked at the notes of all of our coaching sessions. And when I coach with clients, at the end of each session, we put a to-do list. And then our first session next is that I match that to-do list with what they've actually done. And if anything is not done, we roll it on to the next month. And we also evaluate that and say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, so we'll pull it off. So it's like action items in a meeting. We bring them across to each meeting, we add them to the list, and hopefully we get them done. So I looked at this list, and we now had more lists on the items that were being carried forward each month to what we had on a month. I also chatted with an avid watcher of JTInTheRaw. Her name's Fiona, and she said that I could actually tune in to this. I could mention her in today's show, so thank you, Fiona, for being so honest. And she said to me, I love your shows. I love show 37. It's your best show ever, JT. There were so many take-homes. There were so much good value. By the way, if you missed show 37, put 37 in the comments below, and I'll happily share that with you. I will share that show with you, and you can have a look at those insights that I shared from attending 2 conferences. I think I gave you like 13 things. Anyway, enough of that. Fiona said she loved the show. So I said to her, what was your number one idea, and what was the plan that you were then going to roll out to implement that idea? There was silence. There was crickets. Nothing. Morning Dan, morning Sylvia, morning Chantal. Finally, in a separate conversation, this is my 3rd conversation for the week where I talked to someone out of the fitness industry, and we talked about a business book. We had both read this book, and we both agreed it was awesome. We said, it's cracker, it's awesome, beauty, mate. Loved it. We loved it. And I said, well, based on that book, I've now changed how I market, and I'm moving more down the road, Eugene, you'll love this, more down the road of marketing through media. Thanks, Dan Moy. Yeah, I do look like crap. I get that. But I went to bed at midnight and woke up early. Long day. And I haven't worked out yet, so that may be the reason. Okay, so I said to this guy, yeah, I'm using video now in our marketing. That's become more of a key message. What are you doing different after reading that book? His answer, nothing yet. Nothing yet. He read the book 6 months ago, and still the answer was nothing yet. Okay, so here it comes, guys and girls. Here it comes. Morning, Lockie Porteous. I want you to pull down your pants, turn around, touch your toes, because my size 8 is coming fair up your butt right now. Ready? Boom! There it is. Look, you can't achieve anything in business or in life, for that matter, if you do not implement. Simple as that. If you don't implement shit, you're not going to get shit done. Period. So, if you've got a business coach, and many people here have business coaches, many people might want to work with me as a business coach, if you're happy to get your butt kicked, is that you have to walk away from a business coach session with a to-do list and then do it. The to-do list is one thing, but you then got to do something with it. If you attend a conference like Ursa, or you come to Filex, or you watch a webinar, you do some sort of ongoing education, you got to develop a list of action items, you got to prioritize them, you have to date them, and then you have to start doing them. Just by writing them down doesn't mean it happens. If you read a book, look to pull out 3 things, no more than 3, just 3 things that you might be able to implement in your business, might be able to implement in your life. But you need to pull out 3 things, and then you start to need to do them. If you watch this show, and I appreciate everybody who watches JTInTheRaw. Last week I had over 500 views of just show 37, so that showed me how good that one was. And I love you guys watching it. I love how you give me a thumbs up if you really appreciate it, or you like what I'm saying. Or I love when people say in their comments below, hey, great show, thanks very much. But you know what I'd prefer? I prefer a message coming to me 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month after a show that says, hey JT, I watched show 37, I segmented my market base, I really designed a specific marketing piece based on what you told me, and I got 5 new sales, I got 50 new sales. Because that shows me that you've listened and you've implemented. And for me, that's way more important than a thumbs up to say this is a good show. Although, I wouldn't mind a thumbs up right now from everybody to say, you understand what I'm saying. You see where I'm coming from. Okay, so watching or reading or attending or buying even a course and doing a course, they're easy things to do. Showing up is easy. Implementing the ideas is the hard bit. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's where the traction comes. That's where we progress in business and in life. So you gotta implement stuff. A simple analogy is this. Buying a gym membership doesn't get you healthy. You have to go to the gym in order to get healthy. So, I want you to be honest right now. I want you to give me a thumbs up. I want you to hit like if you read, watch, attend, and sometimes fail to implement. Go on, be honest. Just hit like if you read something, watch something, get some ideas, but then you never implement those ideas. Yep, there's a few coming through now. Oh, thank you guys for being so honest. Really appreciate that. That helps me get that feedback. Okay, so if that's the plan, morning Alyssa, morning, thanks Dan, thanks guys for those thumbs up. Now, if the plan is to implement, we've got to come up with a strategy to do that. So I've kicked your butt, now I'm going to try and help you out. Now, to avoid hashtag TFI, total failure to implement, is really simple. You need to do 3 things. The first thing is you have to have a can-do attitude. At the end of these sessions, what you have to do is you have to believe that you can implement change. You have to believe that you can put ideas in place. If you don't believe that with your heart and your mind and your soul, then you're never going to be able to do it. And there's no reason why you can't implement ideas. So, step 1, have a belief system that you can implement ideas. Okay, step 2 is, get that off my screen. Step 2 is get a list of your first 3 ideas. Just your first 3 ideas that you want to implement. Set a date. If you've got to allocate that to somebody, i.e. a responsible person. But just 3 ideas. Now note, I only said 3 in your first list. See, once you've achieved those 3, you can then add another 3 out of that book, or another 3 out of that conference, or another 3 out of the webinar that you're watching. But if you put down a to-do list or an action list of like 10 or 15 things that you've got out of a book or whatever you're at, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You won't know where to start. So just pick 3, prioritize those 3, rip in, get them done, and then pick another 3. Rip in, get them done, pick another 3. Okay, my tip number 3 for not suffering TFI, total failure to implement, is disciplined planning. So not only have we got to be disciplined about the ideas that we want to do, but we're also in business is we've got to sit down, we've got to allocate time to implement these ideas. Whether that's time in a day, a week, or in a month, you need to put a time in your diary where you do idea implementation. Now for me, my idea implementation is always in the morning after I've done a workout. So I'll come home, my morning ritual, get up, work out, have brekkie, and then rip into my ideas because I've got that oxygen going through my brain. In theory, that's when I'm the most alert. That's when I'm going to be the most creative. That's when I do all my exploration first thing in the morning. That's just my little morning ritual. So, but for you, you work that out. But the thing is, you've got to be disciplined. You've got to allocate that time in your diary and you've got to stick with it. Simple as that. Okay. If you look at the most successful people on the planet, they make things happen by doing things. They make things happen by doing things. So if you want to be one of the most successful people in your business, in your community, or for that matter, on the planet, start implementing your ideas. Don't just watch JT in the Raw, do shit with it. Okay, now, here's your challenge. No matter when you watch this show, whether you're watching it live today or you're watching it a replay later today or on YouTube in a week or so, here's my challenge to you. I want you to put in the comments below right now, what are you going to do to implementing ideas after this show? What are you going to do? Are you going to set time in your diary? Are you going to work on a morning ritual? Are you going to develop a list of 3? Are you going to prioritize? What are you going to do? I want you to put that in the comments below, because that's like committing to an action. And that's the first step to not suffering TFI. So please, in the comments, tell me, what are you going to do in order to implement ideas? Go. Okay, now, before I finish on implementing ideas, I also want to share an insight from Jim Collins. Jim Collins obviously wrote, for many of you know, he wrote Good to Great. He also wrote Built to Last. And in Built to Last, he uses this wonderful analogy when we're using ideas and putting ideas into our business. And he compares that implementation with rifle shots and cannonballs. So cannonballs are expensive. They're a high resource. They require lots of energy to do. And when you fire a cannonball, it has a big impact on the rest of the ship. Whereas a rifle shot, well, it's a low cost, low energy, low resources are needed, low impact on the rest of the ship. But it does enable us to work out if we can hit that target in the distance, and helps us then shape the direction for the cannonball. So here's what I want you to do when you're going to implement some of these ideas, is I don't want you to just go out and go, boom. What I want you to do is fire a couple of rifle shots in order to work out where the target is, then fire your cannonball. So I guess for me, it's like a 5-step process. Morning Mitch, morning Steve, morning Amanda, g'day Dave. Step 1, into getting your hustle mode on and committing to implementing ideas, is first of all, you have to be a player in the game of business, not a spectator. You have to be a player in the game of business, not a spectator. Step number 2 is test your idea on a small market. Test your idea on a small market, segment, or a group. A small market, segment, or group. Test it. Evaluate it as step 3. Number 4 is adjust your idea accordingly. And then number 5 is boom, fire that baby. Roll out that idea. What do you think, guys and girls? What do you think? Do you like it? Will you help me out? Please make me feel good that I'm actually helping you guys by you implementing ideas. I want to know. I want to know if you are getting value out of this. I want to hear your success stories, just like you want to hear the success stories of your members when they're achieving things. So, remember your homework. Pop in the comments. What are you going to do to implement ideas? What are you going to do to implement your ideas instead of just listening, watching, not really doing anything? Okay, that wasn't too bad, was it? Thanks, Amanda. Hey, I really appreciate that coming from you. Hope you're feeling all right. Hope that tummy's not bouncing around too much at the moment. Congratulations, I'm stoked for you. That wasn't too bad, was it? That wasn't really a butt kicking. I hope it was educational. And as I say, if you know someone who does this, just tag them in the comments below. They'll get the show. They'll think it's like you're being really cool with them. They may not know that you're actually challenging them on their implementation. Okay, what's on next week? I've got 2 projects I'm working on next week. First of all, I'm going to be working on the marketing of my active management memberships. I've really fallen off the wagon with this, and Alicia's kicking my butt. So next week, I'm going to spend a lot of time working on how we're going to get the message out of the active management memberships into the fitness industry. They are cracking value. For as low as $50, you can be a bronze member and get a whole heap of stuff to make life easier as a business owner and business manager. But I haven't been marketing it. It's a classic story of great product, but not telling anybody that it actually exists. So I need to get my ass into gear, and I'll be doing that. What else? The other thing I'm going to work on is I'm writing a brand new presentation for Filex. I think it's going to be really good. I planned it in my head. It's going to be really good. So next week I'm actually writing what that presentation is going to be. I'm focusing on onboarding members for long-term loyalty and retention. It's a big one. Long-term loyalty and retention of clients by onboarding them in the appropriate way. So I'm really pumped to work on that. That's what I'm going to be doing next week. I might even share some of those insights in JT and the Raw show 39. Next week, Steve Ankers, who I think might still even be here, I'm going to be working with Steve's PT guys out at Mount Annan. That's kind of west in Sydney. So we're going to be working on how they're going to close more members into PT, both off the gym floor as well as at point of sale. So that's my job. So I'm going to be planning that as well. So next week I'm going to be coming live from Mount Annan. Hey, thanks Dan for sharing what you're going to do to implement ideas. Thanks Alyssa for sharing your ideas as well. I love that list of 3 in a priority order. I need to sort out my life. Thanks Alyssa for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Hey, I hope you got some value out of today's show. I really do. You know what's key for me is that you listen, you watch, and then you write a list of things that you want to do. So thank you so much for tuning in. And as I say, please tag anybody in the comments below that you think would get value out of the show. So I'm going to head off to the gym. Oh, not yet, I'm not. Quote of the week. I know you guys love quote of the week. So let me share quote of the week. We always finish with this if you're new to the show. You cannot achieve anything in business or in life if you do not implement. Period. Or boom. Poof. Hi, Sunil. Okay, let me say that again. This is it. As always, I like to finish with a quote, and here it comes. You cannot achieve anything in business or life if you do not implement. Period. No rant, Dan. Just a quote of the week. You can't achieve anything in business or life if you do not implement. Take that message with you this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in to JT in the Raw, show 38. I'll see you next week. JT in the Raw, show 39 coming your way. Feel free, share it as much as you like. Thank you. Have an awesome weekend. Catch you guys later. Bye.